Hello, my name is Cameron Nagel, and I'm the host of Starting Small. In today's video, I want to talk about the topic of the power of your phone and networking that you have with this device. So to give a little history about myself, I'm a 20-year-old touring musician and business student from Northern Indiana. And my phone, not this phone specifically, but my phone has gotten me a large networking system that has gotten me connections through the music industry that I'm glad to call these people my friends today. It's kind of ironic, but I do have a prop with me. This is my original 5S, my iPhone 5S, right here. And there's a complete story behind this. I will never get rid of this phone. It's the memories that I have on this thing. It doesn't work anymore, it doesn't turn on. But just the symbolism behind this reminds me of this subject. So to talk a little bit more on it, back in 2016, I was 16 years old. And I was in high school, transitioning into high school. I began to come home from school and do my practice sessions. And I remember talking to someone one day that they were networking some photos or something that they would post on the social media, and they were making money from this. And I looked at their page, and they had like 300,000 followers, and they showed me their PayPal account, and they were scrolling through. And I saw constant PayPal coming through that sponsors were paying them to post their photos. So I thought to myself, what if I could do this with my drumming? I wasn't in it for the money at all. I was in it to build a network system and to hopefully get a gig with an artist. So I began going home. After my practice sessions, I would record a little segment of what I did to show my progress, kind of. And I would upload that to Instagram on my drum account. And over time, it took about a year or two. I would build these connections, a lot of hard work. I would do this daily. If you don't have the commitment to do it daily or every other day, then it's going to be hard to grow. But starting out, you have to be consistent, and it was all about being respectful to your audience and being credible. So if I'm learning a new groove, or not just for music, but if anything else, you have to stay in your niche. So I had to understand where I was at, what place I was at, and make it known that I know that I'm there. So if you go onto Instagram and try to make it sound like you're something else than you aren't, then no one's going to respect you. It's about those connections that you build respect with others that lead to other connections. That kind of goes into this illustration I like to share all the time. And it's about the networking tree that I call it. So it's not exactly a tree, but it's a networking chain. So whenever I try to describe this topic to others, they ask me, how do you build that connection with that person? And I try to describe it in this way. If I have paper with me, or if I can just explain it visionary through my talking, I like to start it with, I'm this circle, and it's leading to that one person that I'm trying to make that connection with. And they're that next circle that it's leading to. And you never know who's in the room or who's watching what you're doing. So that person may know someone else. And that next person may know someone else or another person. And what this eventually does is it builds an extensive networking system that can create your network to expand exponentially just through the simple task of uploading one thing daily and sharing it. So kind of tying off of that, once you build a small networking system that can eventually grow, you want to make sure that these networks that you are building, you are creating friendships out of them that can last a lifetime. So for example, back in, I would say 2018, one of my friends, his name is Treyway, he's the drummer for BB Rexa. I remember I looked up to him for many years, 2016 up until 2018. I reached out to him and said, hey man, I really look up to what you do. Thanks for putting an impact on my life. And that simple gesture right there made him follow me, made him respect me, and we kind of built a friendship from there. And over time, after showing some more kind of connections through him, we were able to connect with each other. Like, we meet up at each other's concerts, and we talk about drums. And that kind of ties into other networking systems. It's not just music. It can be tied into your business or your theme pages and such. It's about building connections in the certain niche that you're in that expands growth. Not only is there networking, which is probably one of my favorite topics to talk about because it reigns true for much success for everyone. The networking and friendships that you build leads to other things. But there's also the concept of opportunity through social media. I respect the people who say that there's bullying and other things on social media and it's not good. I respect that. But the topic of if you are using it for something good and to grow, then I think it's fine. So nothing kind of makes me more upset is when I'm sitting through seminars and people are harassing social media. But for a lot of people, social media has gotten them everything and everywhere they have been today. So in 2017, after doing these videos daily, 2016 to 2017, an artist called Jamie Grace, she's a Christian contemporary Grammy-winning artist, she saw the progress and the work that I was putting into these videos. She reached out to me, and I remember I flew out to my first show with her in Sacramento, California, and she just kind of said that she looked up to the work that I was doing. I really looked up to her. I listened to her back in the day with my parents. That first initial reach out that she did was all in result because I was putting the time and effort in to kind of get my name out there in the most presentable way possible. So if you're putting out content that's kind of iffy, and if you don't want to release it, or you don't know if it's like the right thing to do, it's important to put yourself out there how you want to be seen. First impressions are the key to everything. When you walk into something, you want to be looking nice, you want to be talking nice, you want to be respectable. And that goes for the opportunities that could arise through your phone and the marketing, that you put your brand or your name out there. So kind of what I want to share from that is wherever you're at, if you're thinking about doing this, if you're thinking about marketing something through your phone, it's free, it's easy, it takes effort and time, but if you put that time in, it will pay off. I want to tell you that don't hesitate, start where you're at. It doesn't matter what equipment you have. This is the perfect example that shows all I was using was my phone. You don't need audio interfaces, you don't need specific cameras. Wherever you're at, start there. Start with your phone. Spit out content, and the equipment will come later. If you're using minimal equipment and producing quality productions, people will respect that way more than if you have all this money, all this equipment, and you're producing junk. It's about producing your best vision, your best scene, what displays you that people want to see. So where I wanted to get with this video was, don't make up the excuse that you don't have the time or you don't have the equipment to get out what you want to get out. All it takes is a phone, social media, and you can market to the world. It's insane how marketing has happened within the past 10 years, has blown up. And it's free. If you're trying to sell a product, or you're trying to provide a service, or you're trying to get seen by someone like I was. I was trying to get seen by an artist so I can tour and play drums. In my opinion, the most effective way is picking up your phone, recording, documenting, messaging, building connections, building friendships that eventually branch out and you don't know who's watching. That's what it takes, is the hard work that you put in behind the scenes, put out there so people can see your work. You never know what can happen. I hope you were able to get something out of this video. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to email me at startingsmallpod@gmail.com. Comment below or hit me up on Instagram or any other social platform that you might see my podcast on, and I will get back to you. Again, thanks for tuning in to Starting Small.